Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hey everybody, we are back with this Mindset and Motivation Monday here on the Cabral Concept. So excited to be joining you here today to maybe introduce you for the very first time to a concept, a Danish concept called Hygge. It actually originated in the 18th century. And those were times when people needed a little bit more fun or enjoyment or relaxation in the hard times a few hundred years ago. Then it started to make its way into at least the American type culture, more for home decor than honestly anything else around the year 2016. I had never heard of it before. So I just heard about it a few months ago. I think I've used a lot of the concepts in my life, and I want to share some of those with you. But if you are not already incorporating this Hygge, which is Hygge, so if you see it in the title, you'd say, how does that, in English, how is that pronounced Hygge? But it is. And so it's an amazing concept that has been roughly translated as comfortable conviviality, which I had to look that up as well because I love learning new words. I'm like, what is this word conviviality? And I had not seen it, and I'm trying to get a description for what Hygge is. And people said it's as hard to describe as it is to pronounce. And I think that that's true. As I've done my research, as I've read all sorts of different articles, as I've looked to see, okay, what books are talked about this, and this comfortable conviviality does a pretty good job. And I want to break that down for you. And then we'll get into how to actually use this in your life that I think is imperative now more than ever, because not only do we have the same work stress, relationship stress, family stresses, all those normal things of life, right? But we have the changing world stress. I'm sure you've noticed, right? If you haven't already noticed though, the world is a very different place than it was 3 years ago. And it's going to get stranger and stranger with more artificial intelligence developments, AI, et cetera, right? So what I want to do is just say at some point, we need to get back to being us, to humans. And this whole thing about comfortable conviviality was this. Comfortable means like relaxed. Conviviality was, if you translate it roughly, it comes down to like friendliness, but really how it's used is typically gathering together with a group of friends or people you enjoy being with to have a comfortable meal. And I was like, that's amazing, right? So if you look at it, Hygge is basically the act of relaxation, being yourself, no agenda. Think about a 3-hour dinner that you might have with friends that you have over and, you're chatting first, maybe you have a drink or just some appetizers, relaxing, great conversation. The night just extends and extends and there's no agenda. There's nothing you're trying to accomplish except being. And when I understood that, like that's what they were going for, that's what this Hygge, means. I said, I need to be able to share this. But then, with our American-based mindset, and I have an American-based mindset, right? It's like, well, how can we actually implement that? Because you can't just have it if you don't yet practice it. And that is something I really like to share on the Mindset and Motivation Monday shows, and I'll be doing more of that in the future. But it's sometimes, it's something that we want to live. There's no doubt about it. But before you can live it and embody it, you have to do it. And that means it's a little bit more of a calculated action. It's not exactly Hygge, but if you can start to set it up, then you're like, oh, this is what it is. And I want more of that in my life. And we, again, there is this thing about finding balance, but for sure I think we can do that. So I wanted to give you just a couple of hard definitions, and then I'm going to go into how I use it, like how I incorporate Hygge into my life. And then I hope that you come up with your own list as well. I really believe that more and more of us need to be using this so we don't get burnt out. So then when we get exhausted, that we also enjoy life. That's a big part of it. So one definition is, in brief, Hygge is taking time away from the daily rush to be together with people you care about, or even by yourself, to relax and enjoy life's quieter pleasures. Great one right there. A couple other ones. Taking time away from the daily rush, having no agenda, being with yourself or with family, completing a ritual that you love to do on a daily basis, or just relaxing. So I really enjoyed that. I really liked that. And I just felt like it's about appreciating the small joys of life, of what life is. And so then you have to think to yourself, okay, well, it has to be a little bit more personalized because you have to incorporate what you believe life is, right? So a lot of times it comes back to an overall philosophy, and people are like, I don't know what life is, and I don't know that anybody knows what life is, but it's more, what are some of the things that you, if you had all the time in the world, what would you do more of? It's those types of things. Yeah, it could certainly be writing or poetry or singing or dancing or whatever, but it can also just be like things that you truly enjoy. It doesn't have to be like making art, right? Not everybody does that. But it could be like something I have a little bit of Hygge is I love to be able to do some archery in my backyard, right? Not going hunting, nothing like that. Again, not opposed to any of that. Not what I do. But for me, it's like, I just love being able to go out and practice and dial in a bow. Compound bow is to say, if I do this little tweak, that little tweak, do this, do that, I can eventually get it into that bullseye. Okay, if I can do that at 15 yards, hey, if I back up a little bit to 25 yards and then 35 yards and 45 yards, how does it change? And the bullseye is honestly irrelevant because it's just me. I'm the only one out there. So, and yes, I'm there with my daughters, but that's also just then like enjoyment, time being together. But what it is, it's the act of, there's no rush. There's not even anything to accomplish. There's no agenda. I don't have to hit a bullseye. It's simply me saying, if I keep going back or if I off to an angle or there's a little bit of wind that day, how can I play with this? So that's more of like a hobby. It's something that you just enjoy doing. And for me though, on a daily basis, this is how I incorporate it. And it's one of the reasons why I feel that I can work really hard during my day. And I can always live by the motto that I'm never too tired for my kids, ever. Like it's just never going to happen. It's because though I incorporate this for myself. And so I believe that all of us need a little bit more Hygge in our life so that we can then give more to others. I've found that those people who are getting out of life what they're looking for, they're far more likely to give more to others. They're far more likely to serve because they've already filled up their cup, right? It's you can pour out of a cup that's full. You can't that's empty. So sometimes people are always looking to help other people and all of that, and I agree. But you could give a whole lot more if you filled up your cup a bit more too. So the first place I incorporate Hygge into my life is with my AM routine. So before I go to work, try to do my best to help others. Before my daughters get up, my best just to help start the day, whatever it might be, is I try to wake up before everyone else to do a little bit of what I enjoy. It could be reading, it could be journaling, it could be anything that I'm looking to do. Listening to an educational podcast that I enjoy. It's any of those things that I want to incorporate into my morning. And I have a specific routine. A lot of times it's just quiet. Honestly, yeah, I could read a little bit. I could listen to a little bit. I like the quiet. I like being with thoughts. I like to ease into the day. I like to make my smoothie. I like to do my morning movements, my morning exercises. That is not my workout, but those are all the things that I like to be able to do. And so I have that time. And again, there's no agenda except easing into the day. And you might say, a lot of people on the outside, if you looked at my day, you'd say that's a pretty stressful day. There's a lot to do. But at the same time, it's not. It's not once you've incorporated into your life and you've gone through the motions many, many times and that's something that you're just used to. But it's also not even close when you've had that time already to yourself and you're saying, I'm ready now. I've had my time. I'm ready now to start the day. So that's the first part. The second is taking a lunch. I think that, I think that people should for sure wake up a little bit before their family if they can. to be able to get a little bit of you time. And I always have to give my Jim Rohn quote because I think it's the most important, one of the most important quotes in the world that is misinterpreted. So it is this: I will take care of me for you if you'll take care of you for me. A lot of times when it's two people in a relationship, you're always trying to say, how can I help the other person? What can I do for them? When for the most part, if that person took care of themselves and you took care of you, you would then be two independent, happy, content people coming together, and it'd be an amazing relationship. Now, having said that, because you don't need the other person to make you who you are, they just add on more value to your life, and that's a great way to look at it. I don't know that being dependent on another person allows for that same even exchange of you wanting to be with that person rather than needing to be with that person, right? There's different levels, and I'm not going to get too deep on that for today. But then also there are like people who really do need you, who really do depend on you. Not just children, but maybe it's parents or siblings or friends, whoever. And that's okay as well. Like that's why, again, if you do enough for you and you're strong enough, you can take care of a lot of people, right? You have that ability. All right. So the second thing is this: lunch. I have always taken a 15 to 20 minute lunch minimum. Typically, it's somewhere between 30 minutes and 60 minutes. It was more when I used to own my 2 locations in Boston before my entire practice went virtual. And here's why. I would get into work early, by 7 at the latest, and I'd be working a good 12-hour a day, especially when I opened my first locations. So if I didn't leave my office for that 30 to 60 minutes to take an outside lunch, the day would just be one giant ball of stress. It would just be one thing after another. Now, I loved my work. I love what I did, but I was going from wellness client to wellness client, dealing with all sorts of hard health issues. I'd be reading labs, I'd be doing phone calls, follow-ups, issues with, anything from the showers not working, in one of our wellness-based centers to whatever it might be. And so, and all of it is great. And I'm grateful. I was grateful for all of those things, even at the time. Like anything's going on, I'm like, yeah, like this is all part of it. You signed up for this. This is part of the game, right? But the big thing was this, is that I would always walk to Life Alive, when it did open up in Boston. Before that, I would walk to the big Whole Foods there on Harrison Ave, or wherever, again, like it'd be any one of my favorite lunch places that I would go to. I used to go to Dig In, I'd go to Life Alive, I'd go to Whole Foods, I'd go to Sweet Greens, I'd go to all these different places. And so the act of walking, if you listen to my podcast years ago, I would say, yeah, like every single day, I put on binaural beats, or I put on a comedy-based video and just listen to it. And it would be a way to just relax, unwind. And really what Hygge is talking about from a science-based perspective is moving out of fight or flight to the parasympathetic nervous system, calming your body and telling it that it's safe. And that's all we need to do in our life in order to just be able to take that sigh of relief. You have to let that stress go. And for me, it was a walk. So rain, sleet, or snow, I was outside taking that walk. I would have a change of shoes, like whatever I needed for my dress shoes. And I always said, and you'll hear it back on previous podcasts, unless it was raining sideways and my umbrella could not tolerate it, I was out there. And it was a game changer, because when I got back to work around 1 or 1:30 or so after I took my lunch, and I started the next half of my day, which is basically like a full day, I've got another 6 hours or so, I could handle it because I was now recharged again. I got a little bit of Hygge back in my life. The third one is this. I think everybody should have a movement exercise routine. Even if you're like overcoming injury or something and, there's an issue, and I've had to do that before in my life, is that's then your rehabilitation time. your foam rolling time, your massage time, your sauna time, whatever it might be, is that you take 30 minutes to 60 minutes a day. Now, again, I know it seems like I'm asking for a lot of time, but I'm not, right? If I'm talking about 30 minutes before everybody else wakes up, you could do that. It might take going to bed 30 minutes earlier. It's worth it though, at least 20 minutes. Same for lunch, 20 minutes. Can you get 20 minutes? For your workout, 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. So, out of your 16 hours that you're awake, can you get 1 hour? I mean, that's really what we're talking about. And hopefully you can. And if you can't, can we in the future? Can we schedule that? Because your workout is another thing, or your movement, your walk, however you want to do it. It's a time for you to also break from the rigors of everyday life. Your workout is about you. This is about getting back a little bit of you time, a little bit of relaxation. Your movement, your sauna, your steam, whatever it is that you do, a little bit of time for you. And so I do the same thing. I mean, I do my HPH protocol. Oftentimes it's broken up over various days. So I've got the weight training, I've got the aerobic with oxygen, and then I've got the recovery, which is my PMF, my red light, my sauna, all these different great things, these modalities. And it makes me feel amazing when I do it, absolutely amazing. And so that's what I do, and I incorporate that. And during that time, though, I get to listen to music. I get to listen to a favorite YouTube video. I get to relax. During a sauna recovery, I can put on binaural beats. So all of these things are absolutely fantastic. And again, it gets me back out of that fight or flight. The biggest one, and probably the most important to really be a part of or adopt the Hygge lifestyle into your life, right? It's probably redundant there, but it's to set aside time each day to come together with family or friends, whoever it is in your life. If you live alone, no problem at all. So who is it that you're communing with for lunch or dinner every single day? It doesn't have to be the same person. It can be multiple people. But I can tell you for sure, one thing that we always did that I was appreciative of, in my family growing up, we all got together for dinner every night. We might be yelling at each other, we might be doing whatever, but we got together every single night. And obviously it was 4 kids in my family. We were close in age, so we're always wrestling, all those different types of things. But that was family time. Like that was a nice dinner we had together. On Sundays, we all got together with my grandparents and even some extended family. And that was, again, like a 2-3 hour meal. It was really, really nice. And so those are great traditions. Now, my family and I, we get together. So my 2 daughters, my wife, we get together. We have dinner tonight. We have dinner every night around 5:30 or 6 p.m. at the latest. And what we do is it's no TV, no phones, no iPads, no anything. And we get together and we talk, we chat, and we enjoy a nice meal together. Now, it doesn't have to be a fancy meal. It doesn't have to be any of those things. You're just sitting down and you're communing. You're getting together. You are with people that you love and that you choose to be with. It is a great way to essentially end the day, being with those people that you love. And that's a big part of that Hygge lifestyle. The last one is this, if you're able to. Not everyone is. We've got different work responsibilities. So, sometimes we're doing our chores, our tasks late into the night. But if you could take a little bit of time for yourself at the end of the night to do something that you enjoy, that's pleasurable, that just lets you look back in the day and say, it was a great day, or I'm enjoying myself right now. Whether it is a bath that you like to take, a sauna, just a shower at the end of the day, listening to some music, unwinding with one of your favorite TV shows, reading a book, making it a ritual. So no matter how the day went, that you end the day doing something that you choose to, right? Nobody else does for you, but that you choose to because it's your life. And you get to relax, no agenda, unwind, and simply enjoy this human being experience. Hopefully today's show is helpful. I do hope that you start to bring more of this Hygge into your life. And as I always say, if this show was helpful, do feel free to share this with anyone you believe it could serve. Take care. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stevencabral.com/courses.